Hello, hello.
Hi, Ed.
Oh, hi. I can't see you on video, but I am here supporting Nathan, longtime friend and supporter, and I want to wish him all the best. And he seems like a young man who's going places, so I'm very proud of him.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
All right. Let's go to Danielle at 2110C.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great. How are you?
Good. The only update that we are working on, we have a couple of new rental eviction assistance programs, but those aren't kicking in, I think, for a couple of weeks, but I know we'll be busy because of that. And then my other announcement is on February 11th, we're having our annual 211 day. So we're celebrating with having a big Zoom meeting since we can't have an open house this year. So if anyone is interested, leave my in the chat box and I can share the invite, or I can send it to you also, Megan, to share with everyone for February 11th.
Yeah, please send me that information for your virtual open house. And then if you have any information on the rental assistant program, even though I know it's not necessarily active yet, but if you have any information, then I can at least just share it with the rest of the group. That would be awesome.
Okay, yeah, I have a meeting on it later on today, but either way, I will send you a follow-up email.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's go to Miss Jenilyn.
Good morning, everyone. It's Jenilyn Santos with Chrysalis. I am the Community Engagement Coordinator for our Orange County office. We don't have any new updates other than we're still doing everything that we do at Chrysalis, just virtually. But I will put my contact information in the chat. So if anyone has any questions or concerns or anything like that, I'm always here to help. But thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenilyn. Good to hear your voice. Jennifer, Agent Sabota.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Jennifer Swoboda here, Parole Agent Specialist for Orange County Reentry Programs. Everything's going well with parole as can be expected. Agents are working remotely still, and we hope that changes. Maybe by spring, summer, agents have started getting vaccinated. I am scheduled to get my second vaccination next week. Really excited about that. And I know that's going to be a game changer. So fingers crossed, maybe we can see each other all in person in the spring or the summer.
Yes, that would be nice. Thank you. And then Jennifer, also the mobile clinic is put on hold probably until maybe the spring, right?
Yeah, we're hoping maybe in March or April at this point. You know, we're hoping we can get some of those vaccinations out to our parolees through our mobile medical clinic. I won't know anything about that probably until March. Obviously, I'll be publicizing that heavily if that happens, but it's on hold for now.
Awesome. Thank you for that update. All right, let's see. Jessica.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Jessica Linares with the Employment Development Department, EDD, Workforce Services Branch. So we're located at all the one-stop centers in Orange County, Garden Grove, Anaheim, and Santa Ana. I'm actually located at the Santa Ana Work Center. EDD is currently closed to the public. As you know, with unemployment insurance, it would just be crazy for us to be open to the public. But we do serve the public by appointment only, and that's mostly for our case management programs. We do have programs for youth, veterans, and any job seeker that's been laid off from a company. We are having most of our staff have been redirected to unemployment insurance to support that effort, but we have recently been informed that they are actually returning back to the Workforce Services branch. So we will begin providing more services to the public. They're all going to be virtual services at this time, but we work closely with all of our partners at all the one-stop centers. So more information will be coming out on workshops and other services that we provide to employers and job seekers. And we're here just to see how we can support any of the efforts that you guys have going on. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being with us. And then Kanisha?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
No worries.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kanisha Humphrey. I'm with Working Wardrobe's P2E program. I work alongside Karina. Currently, right now, we do not have any updates regarding our program, but we have been busy working towards enrolling participants in our program, as well as trying to partner with other community agencies to kind of let them know that we're here in the community to help. And also just to let the community know that we're here as a resource. So I'm really excited on being here on the call, and I can also include my contact information just in case anyone would like to reach out. And if you have any questions about our program and what we do. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Kevin with Hope Builders.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin Mendoza. Thank you for having me. And if you don't know who we are or what we do, we connect young adults of ages 18 to 28 to career opportunities. We offer construction, information technology, clinical medical assisting, and information and our new registered behavioral technician program. I'll go ahead and put my information down in the chat if you have any questions. As far as updates, we hold our informational sessions every week, whether it's Monday or Tuesday at 6 p.m. through Zoom. And it's just to give the opportunity to the people who are interested in the program a chance to go and just to learn more about the programs, how they can get started, and answer any questions that they may have. So I'll go ahead and put my information down in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. And then when's your next upcoming cohort or one of your programs starting, or any of your programs starting? Because your construction program just started, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So our next program will actually be our registered behavioral technician program, and that starts on March 18th.
Awesome, cool. So you're enrolling for that right now. Awesome, thank you. Miss Lanny, Happy New Year. I can come back to you, Lanny. I don't see a video, so maybe you're joining us by phone. Lindsay?
Hi, is that me, Lindsay N?
Sure.
Is that who you're requesting?
So I have a Lisa. I have two Lisas. Perfect. Yes, Lisa, and you can go first. Or Lindsay, sorry.
You said Lisa, so that's not me. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Lisa.
No, go ahead, Lindsay. Go ahead.
I have nothing to share other than I'm just a community member here to learn about CAP and show my support to your ROI speaker today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Sorry for the confusion.
No, it's okay. Lisa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Tafua from Orange County Probation. I'm an adult field officer in charge of the reentry programs here for our department. So I'm excited to hear what everyone has to share. It's already started off really good. As for the probation officers, at any given time, there's only 50% of us in the office. The other 50% have been working telecommuting. Our field activities due to COVID obviously have toned down a lot. But like Jennifer from Parole said, our officers have started getting vaccinated. So hopefully we'll be up and running, sort of back to normal, whatever that looks like soon. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Lisa. Let's go with Lori, not Lori Friedman, the first Lori, but doesn't have a last name on my list. I think this Lori's here to support Nathan.
I just want to thank God for protecting Nathan and being with him through all the trials and tribulations he's been
Oh.
through. This is very hard for me because my son was with Nathan when he talks about his story, everything that transpired. So this brings up a lot of emotions and feelings. But Nathan has, through all the obstacles, he's come out on top. He took the bad and he turned it around for good. He educated himself. He obtained college degrees. He read numerous books. I mean, he became an avid reader, and he's very well spoken, and it shows verbally and in his writing. And I know that he's going to go far in life, and I'm just very thankful for where he is right now and everything that he's been through and that he has endured.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for showing your support and for those words. You're really setting up, I think, a good picture of what Nathan's story is like. He actually put together a PowerPoint presentation, which no ROI speaker has ever put together a PowerPoint presentation. So he went above and beyond. So thank you. Let's go to Lori Friedman.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Megan. My name is Lori Friedman, and I'm with Revolution Financial Management. And we believe I'm a financial coach, and we believe that no family left behind financially. And if I can help anybody, just reach out and let me know. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. Actually, I sat down virtually with Lori in December, and so we put together a plan for me, and it was really easy. And so if she can do it with me, who has shopping problems, she can do it with anyone else. Let's go with Miss Megan Medlin. I know she has her juvenile hire meeting. I know Megan will probably talk more about it in a second, but let's go to you, Megan. Maybe she's multitasking. It's a Megan thing. I'll come back to her. I'm going to butcher this. Who's under Megan? I want to say maybe it's Dominic with
Hey, Megan. Yeah, it's Dominic.
Okay. I'm going to butcher your last name.
No worries. Everyone does. It's okay. So good morning, everyone. Dominic Mexico, Orange County Sheriff's Department. I'm one of the managers that oversees the correctional programs that take place in the jail, and also oversee our reentry services that take place out of custody. The Assistant Sheriff Balicki and Assistant Sheriff Parks kind of gave an update on the Sheriff's Department already, but in terms of programs, we're still kind of waiting for the jails to reopen, but we continue to see individuals in custody on an individual basis, and we can still try and link up with community agencies post-release to try and make sure their needs are met once they get out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dominic, and thank you for everything that you're doing. Let's see, Marina, maybe? Myrna, sorry.
I'm just also here. Hi, everyone. I'm just also here supporting Nathan as well. We grew up together since like elementary school, and as Lori and Ed said, he has definitely come a long way, and so has their son. So it's just been a beautiful opportunity to kind of watch some of these inmates really grow and develop and prosper through this process, and I just feel really honored to have been a part of that experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much for showing your support. I'm going to skip over Nathan. As you can tell, I'm going in alphabetical order. Nazi, she won't be saying anything, but Nazi is, who helps me everywhere, behind the scenes. She is great, and she helps me facilitate this meeting, which is, it's a lot harder to do virtually than it is in person, surprisingly. But all you that have put on meetings, you understand. Priscilla.
Hello, sorry. So my name is Priscilla Tiriquez. I am the program coordinator for Project Rebound at Cal Poly Pomona, which is a program for formerly incarcerated college students. And like a lot of people were saying, I'm here to support Nathan. We are trying to scout him, so I'm really happy to be here. But I'm really happy on another note, to be able to be here and see what this whole program, this whole alliance is about. Because, you know, it'll help not only our resources, but help us better help those who need help.
Awesome. Thank you for being here and for showing your support. Let's see. Quan, who's going to be presenting on Defy Ventures. He is a familiar face. He was our ROI speaker back in July.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Quan Nguyen. I'm the Senior Program Manager at Defy Ventures. It's a nonprofit that helps men and women with criminal histories to transform their lives through the journey of entrepreneurship. And I'm also here to support Nathan and to share about an upcoming boot camp program that we have.
Awesome. Thank you, Quan. Okay, Sam?
Yeah, my name's Sam Aleka, also another one of those folks here supporting Nathan. Known him for a long time, but also eager to hear about what CAP is doing with the community, and so far been very impressed. So looking forward to hear more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Shell? Or Shelly? I believe she's with Labor Finders. I'll come back.
She's muted. Shelly, you're muted.
Am I alive now?
Oh, yes, you're alive now.
Thanks so much. Again, my name is Shelly Kulik, and I am with Labor Finders. I've got 9 branches in Southern California, 1 in Santa Ana, and we are have been very successful working with Agent Sabota with formerly incarcerated folks and getting them working. Probably our biggest claim to fame is that we can get you working right away and actually pay you that same day. So if you do have a need for, you know, some money really quick, working a temporary job is probably a really good gig for you. I will put my information in the chat as well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, Shelly. Stacy with UCI.
Hello, everyone. You've already heard both from Alexa and Claire with our UCI's Consumer Law Clinic. I am the director of the clinic, and just again want to reiterate our thanks that Claire voiced in helping us on our story gathering project. And then the rest of our updates will come from Alexa later on the agenda. So thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. Victor, Geo Group.
Hi, hello, everyone. Welcome back. With the Geo Group here in Santa Ana, DRC, working with the State Parole of California. Well, part of the updates now that we're going to start with groups, and we're going to start with the program. And obviously right now everything's over the phone, but we're wanting to roll out, you know, the community resources. And February 17, we're going to start conference calls, and we're going to start admitting everyone in, and still providing the same resources, but out branching to other people that are able to help us, organizations that are able to help us. So happy to be back. Welcome back, everyone, and waiting for this great presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Victor. Lanny must be having some issues with her microphone, but she did put her information in the chat. She is with the One Stop Center in Garden Grove. Let's see, Megan, are you available? And then we're going to move on to our ROI speaker. All right. There's actually 2 more people that I didn't catch because I was going in alphabetical order. An Angel.
Hi, good morning, folks. Thank you for having me. My name is Angel Monzon, Program Manager for Project Kinship. I work with incarcerated folks, and we do social programs. At least my grant does social programs. Work with Melody Cantrell, the Sheriff's Department. I also go into the community shelters, sober livings, and the idea is to sign folks up for Medi-Cal, CalFresh, assist with IDs, birth certificates, and get working papers so that we can get folks off and running. So I'm just here to connect and learn with you folks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. CJ?
Hi, good morning, all. My name is CJ Mitchell-Tree, and I'm actually here to support Nathan Carlson. I'm formerly incarcerated myself and look forward to learning more about CAP where I can. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. And last but not least, because again, I did my last skim, Mr. Denton Knapp. He might be multitasking himself. He's with the Tierney Center. Oh, here he is.
Okay, I'm up. I'm Denton Knapp. I'm the director for the Tierney Center for Veteran Services. And we provide emergency funds for veterans and their families, as well as taking care of education, training, assessment, and placement. So we've got a couple VA programs available along with a VEAP program for the state, and offer a lot of other services. We actually have 8 other organizations in our building right now, virtually, until we start working back in there. But we've got 3 behavioral health, strength and support, Integrated Recovery Foundation, and also US Vets. And then Veterans Legal Institute has totally moved in our building now. They closed their Santa Ana office, and so they're in the Tierney Center for legal, pro bono legal work. We've got 211OC, so when you dial 211 and hit 1 for veterans, it dials right there, and Michelle Mai is able to do an intake and get you going. We have Volunteers of America Battle Buddy Bridge, which they have the capability to go out, meet veterans on the street. They've got emergency backpacks, hygiene materials, student veteran items, and also food. And they've been delivering a lot of mobile food boxes to different residents for isolated veterans and their families. And we've also got Bill Cunningham with the Integrated Recovery Foundation that does entrepreneurship for veterans. And then we're working with CityNet right now to get moved in to be able to do street rescue for homeless veterans. I also happen to be the chair for the Orange County Veterans and Military Families Collaborative. That's a mouthful, OCVMFC. But we also meet once a month. We have 108 veteran serving organizations, nonprofit and some profit, that provide services for veterans, their families in the county. So it's really a synchronizing function. We've got 10 working groups. One of them is employment, education, health and wellness, PR, family and children. So just a large variety of things that you can do to join that. And I'll post those websites on the chat for you to be able to pull up, both for the Tierney Center and for Orange County Veterans Military Family Collaborative. So thank you.
Did you mention the National Guard?
No, so I'm also with the California State Guard. So not the reserves or National Guard, but it is the State Guard. There's 22 other states that have a State Guard. And we work directly for the governor, can't be a federalized force, but we're about 1,200 strong. We have an Army, Maritime, and air components. And what we do is one day a month, just one day, one Saturday a month, we meet at Los Alamitos and some other places around the state. And it's voluntary, unpaid. And there's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different occupational specialties. 20% have never served in the military before. So anybody can join as long as you meet the health and the background check. So if you're interested, I'll post that information too. You can go online to the site and just sign up, and we'll start processing. You'll be contacted by a recruiter. Benefits for it, education benefits for the state of California. So they'll reimburse education, and you get to serve one day a month. You can be activated within the state. We're first responders for fires, earthquakes, floods, you name it, that goes on in California. So there's a lot of professional growth you can get in there. You get to serve, you get to wear a uniform if you've never worn one, and if you did previously. And I can answer the questions about that, but the California State Guard is a good thing to be able to do to get you back into veteran identity of belonging to an organization that is military focused, but works for the state as far as what we do. If you do get activated, you do get paid by the state of California at the rate that your rank is at for the number of days that you're actually activated, whether it's going to go help with a food bank or the COVID shots or whatever it is that we're doing. So thank you, Megan. I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Denton. Happy New Year. Okay, one more person, because I saw that she joined, Ms. Brooke Weitzman. She might be multitasking herself as well, but we all do these days, right? Okay, so we will move on, and I would like to introduce the man, the myth. Oh, oh, her computer doesn't have a microphone. But she's with Elder Law and Disability Rights Center. So if you're not familiar with her services, she is providing, legal help to those who need it. I'm sure I'm not doing a very good job, Brooke, and I apologize. But she'll have her information in the chat if you would like to speak further. Otherwise, let's see, Megan, you back? Well, maybe I give Brooke a chance. No? Okay. All right. So Nathan Carlson is our ROI speaker. Obviously, he has a lot of people here who are supporting him. So that should just show what type of person he is. And again, like I said earlier, when he put together a PowerPoint presentation, I was, actually floored because, no one puts together a PowerPoint presentation for me unless it's like a presenter. So, I was, again, floored. So, Nathan, would you like to introduce yourself? You should be able to share your screen.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Bear with me. I'm trying to enlarge the screen here.
No worries. Take your time.
So if you go, Nathan, can you hear me? If you go to slideshow at the top.
Thanks, Quan.
F5, Nathan.
F5. Oh yeah, there you go.
F5 is not working.
So, okay, so you could just use it with the panel. It's good. You should all be able to see it.
Click on the slide and then press F5.
Thanks, Tammy. All right. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Nathan Carlson. I'm 30 years old, and I just recently finished serving 14 years in prison. Some of my passions in life are health and fitness. Exercise is one way that I maintain my sanity while I was inside. I love to learn. I love to read and write. And I especially love learning about all things personal transformation, be it intellectual, emotional, spiritual, physical. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the quality of your life can depend upon the quality of your thoughts. And up until a few years ago, the thoughts that tumbled around in my mind were, you're worthless, you're a loser, and you deserve the pain you are feeling. And thankfully, I've overcome those thoughts. I've been able to grow through them, but it required asking myself some really tough questions and coming to even tougher answers. And along the way, I learned many lessons and I learned many insights, but there's three in particular that I'd like to share with you all today that stand out for me. And they are, you are what you believe, hope is a supreme catalyst for change, and it's never too late. Up until the age of 11, I enjoyed a normal life. I spent my youth playing soccer, playing baseball. I went to barbecues with my friends and family, and life as I knew it was safe, and it was good. However, shortly after 9/11, my parents divorced, and that narrative was flipped on its head. I spent roughly a year with my sisters and my mom bouncing around from home to home, hotel to hotel, and my sisters and I watched my mom morph into an alcoholic. She became someone we did not recognize anymore, and this compounded with the entry of her boyfriend and me hitting my adolescent years. It became too much for me to bear. So I decided to pack my bags and move in with my father. And I remember showing up at my dad's house. I was 13 years old, and I remember very vividly all the holes in the walls. And I recall the only furniture he had in the home was a futon, a TV, and a refrigerator with baking soda inside. And underneath my dad's roof is where I learned how to deal with conflict using aggression and violence, because that's how my father dealt with me. Anytime I made a wrong move or said something, smart, I can expect to, get hit. And I walked on eggshells around him, and I was afraid of him. And I took this fear and I carried it with me to school. I carried it with me outside the home. And I started getting into a lot of trouble.
It's coming. A big come to Jesus conversation here real soon with everybody. And I think
so I think someone's mic is on, by the way. Excuse me. So as I progressed through my teenage years, I started to get into lots of fights. My self-esteem was at an all-time low. And this was the point in time where I felt like I had lost the love of my parents. I felt like my parents didn't love me anymore. And I gave up on myself. And me giving up on myself looked like me just not caring. I was just a teenager who just didn't care anymore. And the only place that I felt connected was with my friends. And coincidentally, the guys that I gravitated towards all came from very similar circumstances that I came from. The one common thread was that we all came from broken homes. And there was either drugs or violence or both in our homes. I can only recall two friends of mine who had both their parents growing up. And one of them, Sammy Malika, he's here today with us. And, when you're hanging out on the streets and not at home, you're going to be exposed to, the dark elements that are on the streets, So drugs quickly came my way, and I started using methamphetamine when I was 14. And this was the only time that I felt, at peace, that I felt like the pain went away, of like, not having the love of my parents, not having that acceptance. And my friends and I got into some really dark behavior. We, created this gang culture, and we started selling drugs, and we started, getting into lots of fights, and we started robbing people. And all of this behavior went on for several years, and it all came to a head in May of 2007. My life came to a screeching halt. My friends and I were involved in a group altercation. One of the guys that we had got into it with, he was stabbed in the lung, and he almost died. And there was a lot of publicity surrounding my case. It was on the news. It was in the newspapers. The FBI temporarily got involved, and I turned myself in when I was 16 years old, hoping that maybe I would get some leniency. I didn't grasp the enormity of what had happened and what was going to happen at that time. I was eventually tried as an adult when I was 16, and I was charged with 11 crimes, one of them being conspiracy to commit murder. And that charge alone carried 25 to life. And at the time, I was in a unit full of teenagers, all of us fighting, adult cases. And I was watching kids come back from court every day, 14, 15-year-old kids with life sentences. And I was scared. I was scared that that was what was going to happen to me too. And I told myself that I was willing to take whatever deal I can get, whether it was 25 or 30 years, I was open to it just to avoid the life sentence, because back in 2007, a life sentence meant you were never coming home. You were going to die in prison. So I ended up getting a deal and I pled guilty to attempted murder with a hate crime enhancement, and I received 17 years. And I thought my life was over at the time. I really, truly believed that. I told myself every day that I was a loser and that, this is where I was meant to be. I felt like I deserved it. I felt like everyone should just forget about me. And this thought was reinforced and strengthened when the first prison I went to was Pelican Bay. I was 19 years old. I showed up there, and the whites and the blacks were in the middle of a 3-year war. And because I was white, I was automatically involved in this. So I got recruited right away by all the skinhead gangs based on the nature of my crime. It made me a worthy prospect in their eyes. And my main focus when I went to prison was to fit in. I wanted to come home, but I wanted to be accepted, and I did not want to be an outcast. I didn't want to be an outlier in prison because those guys get victimized, and I did not want that to be me. So I joined the gang. It was the skinhead gang, and I became indoctrinated. Part of that indoctrination was I had to read books, and I had to write reports, and I had to learn precepts and commandments and memorize the runic language. And the reason I'm saying all this is I'm trying to convey how embedded this ideology came into my mind. I completely lost myself. I became a completely different person. I ventured down a very dark path, and I spent a cumulative 5 years in the Pelican Bay SHU. And this picture right here, I actually lived down this hallway for 4 years, on and off. And I lived down this unit and down this hallway. And when I hit the decade mark in prison, I woke up one day and I realized I'd been locked up for 10 years. And thoughts of doubt started to emerge in my mind. I knew that I didn't believe what I professed to believe. I knew that in my heart, I wasn't a racist person. And all the gang leaders in my gang had dropped out and went to protective custody. The gang that I was from was green lighted, which meant that, you know, the Aryan Brotherhood put a hit out on every single one of us. And I felt like I was just being used as a tool fighting a war that I didn't even believe in. So one day during my last SHU term in solitary confinement, the educational clerk comes into my door and asks me if I signed up for college. And I had unsuccessfully been trying to sign up for college the entire time I was in prison. And when she slid that book under my door, it was a health class. I finally had something tangible to put my efforts into, something that would carry over to my release. And I knew what I needed to do. So after 2 weeks of tossing and turning and considering dropping out of the gang, I pulled the trigger, I dropped out, and I began to walk a new path. And I arrived at a new facility within a few months. And I remember when I first arrived there, I had never felt this lost in my entire life, because I had just relinquished my identity as a gang member. And this is who I thought I had become. And the identity that I had prior to coming to prison, that boy was gone as well. So essentially, I just felt like I had no identity at this point. And the enormity and the magnitude of thinking about life after prison started to weigh heavy on my heart. I realized that I had no employable skills. I realized that I did not have an education, and I contemplated suicide for a year. And then one day, you know, everything changed. My friend Jason came to my door and he told me about this program, Defy Ventures. He told me that Defy was coming to the yard, and we had heard about Defy ahead of time, and we knew Defy was a different kind of program. It wasn't your basic, rehabilitative program in prison. I knew there was business classes involved, but I didn't know anything else aside from that. And I was desperate at this point in my life for anything to come in and just give me something to put myself into. So when Defy showed up and they had the kickoff event, I joined. And I was delighted to learn, you know, as I was in that launch event, the first event, that 70% of their curriculum dealt with character development. And this is something I wanted, I wanted to learn skills, of course, to employ myself when I came home, but I wanted to heal my soul because I felt like I had just become such a lost person. While I was at this launch event, I learned that Defy, they teach, people who are incarcerated to translate their skills, and turn them into legitimate skills. Like drug dealers, they also have to take inventory and they have to consider their costs. And those are skills that can easily be translated into a legitimate business. So that's the primary focus of the business aspect in the beginning. But they also teach you how to write cover letters and put a resume together. And they teach you how to properly interview and how to tell your story. And they teach you financial literacy and just provide you with all kinds of skills that are going to benefit someone coming home. And at the end of the event, this is what did it for me. At the end of the first Defy event, the founder, she looked at all of us, with compassion in her eyes. And she told every single one of us in that room that I believe in you. She said, I love you. And I believe you deserve a second chance. And I remember just tearing up and crying at hearing these words, because no one has ever spoken to me like that before. And I never felt that accepted than in that moment. And when I walked out of that gym that day, I had hope for my future for the first time in my life. And I thought to myself, what if I can create the life of my dreams? And my life took off after that. The trajectory of my life took off. My self-confidence began to grow. because other people believed in me. I ended up, the Defy, part of going through Defy, we would spend 6 hours a week in workshops, and I watched, other men, completely change as well. It was like this culture shift happened on the yard, where there was like a family of like 50 of us, and we were all pursuing something better. We sat in these group sessions and we talked about our childhoods, we talked about our trauma, we talked about our shame and our regret, and we were able to develop, new values and develop beliefs that, edified us instead of brought us down. And I was able to learn and reveal and be, I was delightful to learn that, we're all the same. We all have vulnerabilities and shame and fear. And, none of us is better than the next based on the color of our skin. We just all have different stories and different experiences that led us to certain points in our life. And I always loved to learn, and I began to feed my mind with all kinds of books that would just, fill my spirit up. And Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within was one of the most impactful books for me. I read this in the summer of 2017, and I go back to it all the time. And after I graduated Defy, I was looking for anything to continue this high I was on. I wanted to serve, I experienced this radical change in my life, and I wanted to be a part of making that change happen for other men. So I volunteered as a peer facilitator for Defy. I volunteered as a facilitator for 3 additional cohorts where I was able to teach the same skills that I had learned to the other men on the yard. During this time, that I was, healing myself and serving other men, I took additional steps to enhance my education. I earned 4 associate degrees while I was in prison. I learned how to weld while I was in prison, and I still felt there was something missing after all of this. And the missing piece of the puzzle for me was forgiveness. And at this point, I had still carried resentment towards my parents for, I felt like my mom neglected me my whole life, and I felt like my dad, his violence was a little too much. And a friend of mine says that shame thrives in secrecy and keeps us bonded to the past, and there was shame like in my heart based on what happened to me in the past. And I knew that I needed to forgive my dad, so I did. And I knew that I needed to forgive my mother, and I did. And I knew I needed to forgive myself, because I had carried so much self-hatred for the pain that I caused in everyone else's life. And I wouldn't let that go. I wouldn't let myself off the hook. And I realized that not letting myself off the hook was, I was being a disservice to everyone that I encountered with moving forward. Because if I'm emotionally stuck in the past, emotionally stuck back in those places where I hurt people, I'm going to bring that energy into the lives of the people that I want to move forward with in life. And they don't deserve that. The people that I move forward in life, they deserve the best version of me. They deserve someone who's forgiven himself and has moved on. I haven't forgotten, and I still carry the wounds from the harm that I've caused to other people, but I've forgiven myself. I've let myself off the hook, and that was really important for me. And I think that's important for everyone else, that every other person's life that I touch moving forward. So right now, I am currently at a male community reentry program in downtown Los Angeles. I'm serving the last year of my sentence here. So I have 7 more months until I am officially home on parole. And since I've been here, I applied to 8 universities to begin my undergrad. My primary focus is on UCLA and UC Irvine. And after earning my undergrad, the plan is to apply for law school. And I hope that I can litigate for people who are impacted by the justice system and be of service to people who are underrepresented, and be of service to, kids in my position who went through, who could, I feel like there was better ways of handling my life. I feel like I would have been better served, going down a different path and not going to prison for 17 years. So I want to hopefully help prevent that from happening to other people. And I feel like going to law school is a calling. It's a way for me to use my story and really make a difference. I'm also currently working on 3 personal training certifications. As I said, fitness is a huge passion of mine. And the plan is to, work as a personal trainer for several years while I'm going to college. I'm hoping to capitalize on an interview that my friend Quan here had helped me set up with this fitness organization in Irvine, and I'm really excited about that, and I hope it works out for the best. So I'm preparing right now. My plans are to stay involved with Defy, of course, once I come home. I feel obligated, and I carry a responsibility with myself to be an example, to lead, and make sure that people know what someone in prison can achieve if they put their mind to it. I'm never going to forget the experiences that shaped me or the people that I left behind. I'm always going to be there for them. I'm also collaborating with someone who I met at Defy. He's actually the lead singer of a band I grew up listening to, and I was blessed to meet him several years ago at a Defy event in prison, and we stayed in contact. And he recently reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to start this fitness business with you. Are you in?" And I was delighted that he thought of me when it came to partnering with me. So I'm excited to work on that project with him, and I hope it goes where I envision it. Some people say that I have an unrealistic idea of like what life's going to be like for when I come home. People say I'm overly ambitious, that I'm going to, life's going to check me. It's going to humble me when I come home. But the truth is, I think just a lot of people have an unrealistic idea about me, about my drive, about my ambition, and my conviction. After 14 years in prison of solitude, of reflection, I have come to know who I am now. I've come to know what I value, and I know the type of people that I want to move forward with in life. And I believe that helps me, see the world more clearly and make decisions that are going to, enhance my trajectory and move me forward and not take me backwards. So I think my life illustrates 2 points. You are what you believe, and it's never too late. For most of my life, I thought I was worthless, and I spent my life reinforcing that with the decisions I made. I worked my way down to the bottom of the bucket, and I was comfortable down there. But, one day, Defy came into my life, and I finally asked myself, what if? I finally had hope, and I started climbing. After years devoted to, life in prison, I finally called forth the courage to be disliked. I stepped into myself, and I stopped caring about what my peers thought about me. And that was a huge moment for me, was when I just stopped caring about what other people thought. And I was able to move forward that way. People don't come pre-assembled. We're glued together by life. The experiences that happen to us shape who we are, and we can learn from them. We can grow from them. And those are the people I want to move forward with in life. I want to move forward with people who are willing to grow with me, willing to fail with me, willing to laugh with me. I'm a living testament of change, of how change is possible for even the most lost of souls. I was in such a dark place, and I'm still amazed that I was able to soften my heart again and remove the wire from my heart and open myself up to the world. I trust the next chapter in my life because I know who the author is, and I'm just convicted in my convinced and so confident in my ability to make an impact in the world one day. So thank you all for listening to my story. If anyone has any questions, my email is below. This is a picture of my family. This is the last time I saw my family, actually, at my college graduation a few years ago. That was a really beautiful day right there. So thank you all. Thanks for hearing my story.
Thank you, Nathan. That was, I know I said that it was going to be an amazing story, especially because you put together such a great presentation that really, did a good, captured your life well. The chat box was blowing up while you were speaking about everything, like so proud of you. UCI said whatever you need, basically. They put their information in the chat, so you can reach out to Stacy. I believe Stacy's the one that actually put her information in the chat for you to contact her. I'm sure they're a little upset that it was number 2 and not number 1, but anyways, does anybody have any questions for Nathan? I mean, he was so thorough and the way he presented his story. You've been getting lots of praise, like I said during the chat. But does anybody have any questions for him?
Hey, Megan, it's Jennifer Swoboda. Of course, I have questions for Nathan. Nathan, what's your parole date?
As of right now, it's September of this year, sometime in September.
Okay, good. You're at the MCRP in LA, right there in MacArthur Park?
Right there in MacArthur Park.
Yep, I know it very well. You gonna parole to LA County?
Yes, my father's house, I'm moving in with my dad into Wardy, so I didn't get a touch on that, but my dad and I have definitely, reconnected and rebonded, and he's practically my best friend today. So, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not going to dominate this question session. I'm just going to give you a big heads up. You're going to be paroled.
We lost you. We lost you, Jennifer.
We lost her. All on pins and needles. Nathan, why don't you go to the next slide, which has kind of some timeline while we're waiting for Jennifer to come back. I don't know, maybe she her call dropped out. So maybe she can put it in the chat. Because she muted herself. Jennifer, you back? Something's going on with your microphone, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, I have no idea what happened, and if you heard any of that. I was just saying that you're going to be going to the El Monte parole office. You probably already know that. I'm going to suggest to them that you be the featured speaker at their PAC meetings. You're an amazing public speaker. That's what I was wrapping up with. And I don't know where you got these public speaking skills, but they're really, really, really great. And you deserve credit for everything. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're doing Juan's job so easy for him. I mean, you're making it so much easier for him when he's up next. Anybody else want to give questions to Nathan? No?
This is not really a question. This is Ariana from Pasadena City College, and I just want to applaud Nathan. Nathan, you are so inspiring, and you are just such a true testament of what forgiveness and redemption is about. We're human beings, and we're mothers, we're sons, we're daughters, we're fathers, we're sisters, we are people. And sometimes we're in need of second, third, fourth, and fifth chances. And so, you know what? You are just such an inspiration. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And we're at Pasadena City College, we're just so privileged to have known you, and just to know a little tiny piece of, be a little piece of your transformation and of your beautiful story. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and your courage.
Thanks, Ariana. Appreciate it.
Well said. Well said. I think the applause and the praise could go around the room fivefold, if not a million times, for your story. And I am not doing a very good job at explaining it this morning. I think I needed more coffee. I don't know what's going on. But for the sake of time, thank you, Nathan. You're always welcome back at any meeting. And I'm also going to connect you with a few different people that I think will really benefit from you. And again, your email is I'll put it in the chat, but I'll also share it with the meeting notes. So if anybody wants to contact you directly, they can. So thank you again for your time, for sharing your story. It's super moving, and I know that you are going places. That is.
Thank you, Megan.
That is a matter of fact.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry, Nathan, I just wanted to say I really appreciated you sharing everything.
I said at the beginning, I'm new to this organization, but the last organization I was a part of, also Gentleman is a part of as well. We work very closely with the MCRPs in LA and in that area. So you can reach out to me directly or anyone at Chrysalis. There's just, even where you are right now, there's a ton of resources that, if they can help you along your way. It sounds like you have an amazing support network already and have a lot of great connections. But since I know a lot of folks are more in Orange County in terms of on this call, a couple of us, including myself, are very connected to sort of that LA and downtown LA network of resources. So if there's anything that we can do to help, a lot of us, I'm sure, would be very eager to help you. So just congratulations on all you've done, and thanks for being a shining example.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Quan, like I said, Nathan made your job that much easier. So we're gonna pass it over to you.
Yeah, he did. Thank you, Nathan. We're so proud of you. So it was great
Thanks,
to
Juan.
see. And then will I be able to share screen too,
Yes.
Megan?
Nathan, if you want to unshare, but Quan, you should be able to share.
Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen.
And Quan, your book
Yes.
was #1 seller, right?
Yeah, it was.
Got to do
Okay.
that plug.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And thank you, Nathan, for just teeing this up so well. I wanted to, I'm the senior program manager here at Defy Ventures. As Nathan stated, our program typically started in prison, and I wanted to come and share with you about an exciting opportunity to also share it with men and women that didn't have a chance to take our program inside. We're doing a boot camp program out here. So the agenda, it's going to be pretty brief. Just gonna ask a question, where were you in 2008? About Defy, the boot camp program overview, share about our business accelerator, the Defy's business criteria, some EIT success stories, and what's next, okay? So I just want you to take about 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, and just think about where were you in 2008? So, okay. So 2008, I was a life-term prisoner at Solano State Prison. I have done about 22 years of my life incarcerated and in and out of correctional institutions, from juvenile hall to California Youth Authority. I ultimately went up to prison with a life sentence for murder. So today, I am the post-release program manager at Defy. I'm also a best-selling author. The book came out September of last year. It's called Sparrow and the Razor. And I'm also the founder and CEO of a commercial cleaning company I created through Defy Ventures after I paroled in 2015. It's called Jade Janitors. So I'll probably skip this. I mean, this is just because Nathan already kind of gave a big plug on what we do in our program for men and women inside prison and once they come home. But one thing I did want to touch on is that Defy does recognize that many formerly incarcerated people, and we call them entrepreneurs in training, or EITs for short, that they can achieve anything that they want to. So as I'm sure that Nathan is already kind of proving. Our program spans across 7 states right now. Looks like our 2021 goals, or we're going to be expanding also into Wisconsin. It looks like perhaps Georgia, and I think talks with Virginia, I think. So, but right now, these are the programs that we do inside prison and across the nation. So what Nathan, if you see right here in the middle of the screen, says CEO YNL. This is the program that Nathan was involved in and I was involved in prison. It's a 7-month program that touches on business basics, but the most of it is to character and personal development. Once somebody comes home, they become part of the alumni association, and that's when they have access to our network and everything. But we've found that there is a huge need for other men and women that were formerly incarcerated that never had the chance or opportunity to join our program inside. That's where we've created the Entrepreneur Bootcamp. This is for, let me go to the next screen. It's a 14-week program. It's for men and women that were formerly incarcerated that now are stable in their reentry process, perhaps working, but we know because of COVID, that's also been a challenge. but we just want them to be at a place where they've readjusted to society a little bit. And now they're thinking, you know what, I want to build a side business, or I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. So that's what we're announcing today. It's a boot camp program. It's about 14 weeks. We're going to be teaching it twice a week on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, it looks like. And at the end of it, it ends up in a business pitch where you're pitching your business. Along the way, you're gonna get basics of marketing, finance skills, develop leadership skills. There's business etiquette, and there's 2 to 3 coaching events where we have a pretty amazing network of entrepreneurs, a lot of them in the tech and venture capitalist space, that will coach and mentor a lot of our EITs. So yeah, this is what we're asking, somebody that's 18 and older. So all the organizations here, if you have potential clients that you would like to recommend or you think may be a fit, this is what we're asking. We want them to be stable in their reentry, have access to technology, preferably a computer, but at least a phone and a stable Wi-Fi, if they're interested in entrepreneurship. Now, if somebody already has a business that's already earning more than 500 a month in revenue, or has owned a business longer than for 1 year, they may not be a fit. That doesn't mean that they won't be a fit, but they may not be a fit only because we're going back to the bare basics and then helping them build it. So it just depends, because sometimes people have built a business and they say, oh, this is the way it's done, and I can't learn anything else. But that's why I say they may not be a fit. So that comes part of the interview process. Once somebody has gone through our boot camp and graduated, and then they want to pursue to get into our accelerator program, then they could pitch, if they're accepted into the accelerator program, it's between a 6 to 18 month program where they can actually build their business, work on it. There's going to be consultations there. We have, I would say, at least 10 to 12,000 in-kind services that they will be receiving. It will culminate in them being able to pitch to at least get $10,000 in seed grant money. We're working to get it up to 15,000, but right now we can get it for 10,000. An example is Nathan is about to go home. We've already discussed about businesses that he wants to create. When he pitches and gets into our accelerator, he'll also have access to that seed grant money. Along the way, they do get credit counseling. They do get executive coaching, and they'll have a pretty good network to be able to get mentorship from. And I'll just run through the business criteria that we're looking for, because we want businesses that have the potential to be cash flow positive within 3 months, require no more than $20,000 of startup money, potentially grow into full-time business, and be built on the passion or skills that the ERT already has. And we want it to be a for-profit business. I know a lot of people in the reentry space like to do nonprofit. That's not to say they can't go on to create a nonprofit, but it's a different animal. So we just get them to go back to learning the lessons of building a for-profit business. And then there's a quick here thing. I could send you all this about what EIT businesses must not, but it's just requiring a storefront, requiring high inventory, because we want them, let's say somebody say, I want to open a restaurant. What we would say at Defy is that's a great goal to have later on. How about you get a food truck first? How about you sell your first item at a wedding or something like? So we get them to think very small to build out their minimum viable product and then scale out the business from there. These are some EITs that have been in the news. Over here is Cos Marte. He created a workout a business called Calm Body, and it's basically a prison style boot camp. He's featured on NBC News. I think pre-COVID, they broke ground for him in New York at Saks Fifth Avenue, where they built a whole prison style boot camp gym there in New York. Another of our EITs in the news, he makes his pastry chefs and he delivers. I was recently featured in the news during COVID because I had filed for the Paycheck Protection Program. SBA said I was not qualified because I was still on active parole. Defy Ventures and the ACLU sued the SBA, and we got the language changed so that they could, the SBA could no longer discriminate against small business owners with criminal histories. And what's next is our bootcamp program is looks to be starting on March 1st. I'm going to be doing interviews probably in mid-February. So I could share, if somebody's interested, they think they have participants that may be interested in joining our program, email me, I'll send you the application link. I will send you info sheets if you want to know more, and I could also give you the bootcamp flyer. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Quan.
You're welcome.
Did a great job, and I know you are doing great things. And same with Defy Ventures. And with some people who are reentering society, they don't. A traditional business is not always the right fit for them. So that's why I think that what your organization is doing is great. And so for those different case managers and different organizations that come into contact with someone that really has that drive and that entrepreneur spirit, I think that this is definitely a great option for them. And you're living proof, Nathan's living proof of what your organization is doing. And thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Quan? No? Okay. So Quan, if you want to just put, either share that PowerPoint with me so that I can send it out, or just send me a flyer or something that has the information or the link so that way they can contact you if they have anybody, that would be great. I know that a lot of people have joined the meeting, and I didn't get a chance to get through everyone. So if you want to just put your information in the chat, if you haven't already done that, that way we can include you in the meeting notes. So that way individuals can connect basically. Let's see. So let me share my screen. We can move on. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we're going to be wrapping up. We've got, little 11 minutes left. We're still taking applications for ROI speakers for the Orange County Sheriff's Department for our Lived Experience Speaker Program, which with the vaccinations and everything rolling out, that's good news because that's one step closer to, us being able to go in there and have individuals like Nathan share their story and move them, truly move them and relate to them and be able to help show them the power of what we do as nonprofits and other organizations that really want to take these individuals and break the cycle. So I'm going to move to Alexa. She's going to give us the update and from UCI.
Yeah, thank you, Megan. And also thank you to Nathan and Quan for sharing. That was great. I'm also my final year of law school at UC Irvine, so I could put my contact information in the chat if you have any questions, Nathan. So I'll be brief, but UCI's Consumer Law Clinic is currently asking both Orange County Board of Supervisors and the Orange County Superior Court to begin enforcing the Families Over Fees Act, even though it doesn't go into effect officially until July 1st. This act is made up of Assembly Bill 1869 and Senate Bill 824. So Assembly Bill 1869 repeals local authority to assess or collect fines and fees through the repeal of 23 different code provisions, which allow for the charging and collection of a variety of criminal justice fees. It will cancel $16 billion in existing debt and appropriate $65 million from the general fund to backfill revenues lost from the repeal of fees. And then Senate Bill 824 will eliminate administration fees charged to people who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. So this usually has to do with booking, drug testing, probation, and fees for public defenders. And although these fees are meant to recoup the losses incurred by the court, the fees effectively act as an additional punishment for individuals. So we are really glad to see this act being passed, but we just think it needs to go into effect now rather than in July, because the people most impacted are marginalized individuals in California, who are currently suffering increased economic harm because of COVID. So the clinic wrote 2 letters to prepare to send out to the OC Superior Court and then 1 to OC Board of Supervisors. I sent them to Megan so she can go ahead and send them out along with 2 forms if you guys would like to sign on to them. If you have a conflict with one of them, you can always just sign on to one of the letters. So I'll also go ahead and put my contact information in the chat if anyone has any specific questions for our clinic. And that's about it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Alexa. I had actually turned off my Alexa at my desk because it was going off early at the beginning. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Thank you so much. I will be sharing that information that you shared with me last night. I didn't have a chance to put it into the slide deck. So I will be sharing that with everyone in the meeting notes and attached to the calendar invite or the mail, the other email campaign that I do, because some people get one, some people get the other. So I just put everything in the same thing. Did you, or sorry, this? Okay. Did you, who's asking that? Sorry. Oh, okay. Did you guys actually wrap up the study? I forget. I heard Claire, I think, mention something.
Yeah, so the brief now is actually due March 1st. So we still have about a month to finalize it. If you know of any last minute additions that want to be included.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I know because of COVID, it keeps getting pushed back. So thank you. All right. So the PAC meeting, Jennifer, sorry, I just put this in here for you. So if any of the different providers wanted to contact you directly, I think you already put your information in the chat to contact you if they wanted to present at the upcoming PAC meeting on February 10th. It's the second Wednesday of every month, correct?
It's always the second Wednesday of the month, and we love having new providers at the PAC meeting. And I wonder if we could even get Nathan as a guest speaker to do like a 5-minute intro for February. Nathan, who do I contact to get a hold of you there at MCRP?
Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, you can just reach out to me on my email and I can get it set up. Like, yeah, I just talked to the staff for this meeting and just asked them to put me in a private room, and here I am.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Perfect.
Awesome. Love it. NA meetings, most of you guys already know about that, but here's the information. I don't believe anything's changed to my knowledge. So those meetings are there. And then Jennifer, I also put your women's empowerment meeting in here, the third Thursday of every month from 6 to 7. I don't know if you want to say anything about that.
No, not yet. We're just getting that started for 2021. So, but once again, anybody reach out to me if you'd like to be a guest speaker at our women's meeting. We always like to have resources at that meeting. Thank you.
Awesome, cool. Shelly, who introduced herself at the beginning, this is her Labor Finders information. She did put it in the chat. I'm still doing outreach for Benihana's. So if anybody knows anybody who's looking to become a teppanyaki chef, I still have that happening. Feel free to reach out to me directly. I am finishing. There's 5 minutes to spare. Does anybody else have any announcements or anything that they wanted to share? Megan, I know you have your meeting later. I don't know if you're still on here. I know she did put something in the chat. Let's see. I do see her. But does anybody else have anything they would like to share before we wrap up? All right, I will take that as a no, which is completely fine. We're all gonna move on to the rest of our day. Thank you so much, Words Cannot Express, Nathan, for sharing your story. And Quan, thank you for sharing about the boot camp that's coming up for Defy Ventures. Thank you for all of you for coming today. and sharing your different resources that you provide to the community. If you, oh, and now my watch is talking to me. If you guys want to reach out to me directly, feel free. If you wanted to get someone's information, feel free. I'm always here to network and try to connect you with someone in the community. Our next meeting is Wednesday, February 24th. From 10 to 11:30. You can come in person if you want, just got to give me a heads up, and I only have a small amount of people that can come. But otherwise, we're going to be on Zoom, living on Zoom like we do the rest of our lives because of COVID. But I hope you guys all stay safe. Again, thank you for what you do in the community. And again, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day and look forward to seeing you next month.
Thanks for all you do, Megan. Appreciate you.
Great job, Nathan.
Thank you. Thank you. Great job, Nathan.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.